Hi, it's Derek. Derek Does Stuff. This video is going to be about basic setup of a drum set for a beginner. So if you don't really know much about drum sets, this is the video for you. Okay, I'm going to go over the individual parts and the individual setup. We'll go over them as we set them up. Come this way. This is a snare drum. This particular snare drum is a Ludwig Standard. Snare drum has wires on the bottom of it, and there's a lever that turns them on and off. Okay? And this is the heart of your drum set. So as far as the drum set getting put together, it'll go right in the middle between your legs. It is your main instrument, okay? So that's number one. Next thing that you want to do.
Yep.
Okay, next is the throne, okay? You want to set your throne up where it's comfortable. You don't want to be too low. You don't want to be too high. I tend to sit a little bit lower than normal, but you want to set it up. This is your initial relationship. You get the snare drum and you put it in a spot where you'd like to put it, nice and comfortable. Then next is your bass drum. Okay? So make sure you have a nice throne. A cheap one's fine. You'll adjust. But try to get as nice one as you can so it's comfortable. And you don't want to be raising your leg too high when you play, that kind of stuff. That's why you don't want to be real flat. Like if I was this tall, this high, it would be wrong. Okay? Next up is bass drum pedal. Since we're doing Ludwig Standard, I just happen to have an antique Ludwig Standard bass pedal. This one is fully functional. It's actually a good pedal. So I'm going to get it out and make sure your pedal has a nice function to it. And I place it where I think it needs to be at the moment. And then we'll go on to our next item. Okay, next. We're going to take the bass drum pedal and get it attached there. Okay, trying to make sure it's in center. There's a little wing nut underneath the pedal board. And we're going to tighten that down and make sure it's firmly up against the hoop. Okay. Okay, we'll tighten down. And make sure it functions. There we go. We're a little bit high. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Go on. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we've got a nice feel of the pedal. We've got a correct relationship between our throne, our bass drum pedal, and our snare. Okay? Once you've got this established, everything else becomes pretty easy. Next, we have the hi-hat. And once again, this is part of the foundation of the set, the pedals. So what we want to do is we take the hi-hat, set it in place. Now the hi-hat is two cymbals, a heavy cymbal on the bottom, a lighter cymbal on the top. You need at least a finger's worth of opening in here, and it closes and opens with the pedal, but you can also play it. It's quite, as a matter of fact, of the instruments that are in the drum set, the hi-hat is probably one of the most expressive. It is an instrument unto itself. Matter of fact, check out a couple of videos of like Buddy Rich doing a hi-hat solo, because you can do a lot of stuff with them. Okay, you place that to where it's in a comfortable position, and that's your foundation. This is everything you need to actually play a rhythm. So next up, we have tom-toms. I call them just plain toms. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, I literally thought that tom-toms were actually supposed to be like Native American tom-toms, that kind of stuff, or natives in the jungle, that kind of thing. But actually, tom-toms were originally, the ones we used for drum sets were called shifus, and they were tom-toms that were made in China. So and they had like a stretched head over a rounded drum. They've come a long way. This is a modern day version, pretty good. Now the most important thing about this in your drum set setup is you want to make sure that your toms aren't at too much of an angle. You want to be able to easily hit them without hitting the rim, but you don't want them too much of an angle. You want to make sure that if you're relaxed, that you're strike them in a pretty good place. Okay. There you go. Let's make sure we tighten that up. Okay. Okay, a little word here about tom angle. We just told you about the angle to the sticks. The floor tom should be fairly flat and somewhat low. The snare should be slightly tilted for you, towards you. And also, if you lay the stick, it should be, on the rim, it should angle like to your belt buckle. They say it should be to your belt buckle. It's hard for me to show you here, but that's about what it is. And here we have our nice little setup here. Okay, next up and final, we actually have your cymbals. Crash cymbal, and hi-hat cymbal. Ride cymbal, excuse me. Ride cymbal right here. Okay, ride cymbal, you play on it like your hi-hat. Crash cymbals, you want to strike them sort of a glancing blow. You don't want to break them. And that's where your crash is. So, just to finalize, we've went over all our angles, how to assemble a drum set, get everything where it's at the proper angles, and have a nice day and play.